Hey everybody, welcome to Bit About Crypto Season 2, the new version. I'm David James, the Job Whisperer, and I'm back with my ever so faithful companion, co-host, Robo-Recruiter, David Hampton. Talk about it.
How's it going? How's it going, David?
Going well, man. Hey, it's been a while since we've done this, right?
Yeah. I guess it's just been the rhythm of business getting in the way of the fun, per se.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we started the podcast, right? So we can actually perpetuate awareness to our recruiting firm, Blockchain Recruiters. And now it's been so successful in getting the word out that we have too much work and we haven't been able to podcast, right? And so
Right.
we made a commitment. Yeah, our last podcast actually dropped live the third week of May of 2022. And
I think it was April 15th.
Well, okay. You know what? I'm not going to question you on the dates because you've got that kind of like big, beautiful mind. So hey,
Yeah.
So I'm David James, the Job Whisperer, and Dave Hampton, he's the Robo-Recruiter. And why do they call you the Robo-Recruiter, Dave?
Because I'm relentless when it comes to pursuing and matching up the best talent in the industry, whatever industry that may be.
The man does not lie. I will testify. So anyway, so we're blockchain recruiters, and if you want to find us, you can find us at blockchainrecruiters.org. And if you are actually, so I'm David J, DAVIDJ at blockchainrecruiters.org, and Dave Hampton, he's Dave at blockchainrecruiters.org. If you're looking for people, you call David. If you're looking for a job, you call me. So anyhow, it's really funny when we.
Like correction there. So it's blockchainrecruiters.net is our website. You can find David at DJ at blockchainrecruiters.org, myself at Dave at blockchainrecruiters.org as well.
Yeah, or okay. Google, because we've messed it up. So sorry, guys. Like I said, we've been a little rusty, and we don't have an engineer. You're looking at him. Anyhow, so thank you for that, Robo-Recruiter, Dave Hampton. When we actually first started Blockchain Recruiters, and then we actually started the podcast, it was interesting. We wanted to actually give people who had a great idea or a great story a voice, right? And we've met so many amazing people that, because the space is very crowded right now. And I've found what I've personally learned, David, is that we're a little bit more selective and who can just come on to the show, right? We curate better. It's like, it better be something intriguing. It better be something new. And just a little backstory about me, growing up in Southern California, Zen, Chi, yoga, meditation, vegetarian, hemp clothing, social awareness, no nukes, all that kind of stuff. That was pretty predominant, right? More so than a lot of the kids that were my age that grew up in other places. And so, speed the tape up all these years, I get into recruiting with you, David, and then we get into crypto and specifically blockchain recruiting. And then I hear, so what happens is, just for you guys who are listening, Dave Hampton, he's the one that's screening everybody in to be a potential client. And once he brings the clients in, I'm actually making sure that the clients are being served with candidates. And Dave Hampton tells me, I've got these guys, they've got this idea called ZenBase, Zen coin, and you get paid crypto to meditate. And I said, okay. So with no further ado, let's turn it over to Jessie Freelander and his compadre, Connor. Connor, what's your last name?
Chase.
Yeah, Connor Chase. All right. And so you guys are ZenBase. So let's why don't you just give us the Reader's Digest version of what the coin is, and then we'll just dig into you guys individually.
Yeah, and I appreciate the introduction, and you got yourself a show right here. So to give you a little background of what ZenBase is we've created a meditation platform that incentivizes users with cryptocurrency to meditate.
So tell everybody your name so they can match your name to your voice for the listeners, so people aren't watching on video.
Yeah, so if you can hear my voice, I'm Jessie Freelander, and my partner.
My name is Connor Chase. So I'm the CEO, co-founder, head of design at ZenBase. Jessie is the president of ZenBase.
So you guys have designed a platform that pays people to meditate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so before we get into this, so okay, everybody's clear on what that is. That's like, to me, that's like saying, hey, we've designed a flying saucer, right? That's like, I'm all, I mean, I understand the concept. I just want to see how it works. So, but to you guys specifically, right? So let's just talk with you, Jessie, first. And so Connor told what he's the CEO and co-founder. What's your role?
So, I mean, roles, they can be very arbitrary. So
Understand.
as a CEO, me as a president, really all our responsibilities blend. Now,
We understand that.
he is a UI designer, and so he definitely takes expertise in that level. While management, content creation, investor relations, PR, all of those responsibilities blend between me and him. But overall, I mean, we are doing our best. We just moved in with each other, and so it's nonstop work around the clock. We both quit our jobs, making sure that ZenBase is getting to where we truly feel that it can help the world and reward people for benefiting themselves.
So you guys have burned your boats, right? It's ride or die.
Burn our boats, but didn't burn the bridges.
No. And then you don't even say anything about burning a bridge, right? It's ride or die for you guys.
Yes, sir. Risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah, risk it for the
Or
biscuit.
die right now.
So before we get into like your stories and all that kind of stuff, I want to ask you this first, Connor. Let's hear about like what your meditation program is on a daily basis, right? Let's just hear whatever you like going within type activities are for you daily.
So my meditation regimen is just sitting on my butt 20 minutes a day or lying down and just listening to, I personally prefer meditation music. So just like a lot of ambiance and, you know, background textures. I don't know, it just gets my mind in a certain place. But I also do yoga a couple times a week, and just, you know, try to train my brain. It's just like a muscle in the gym. You gotta exercise it, and I like to exercise it every day, or at least try to.
So I've heard you say that you meditate. Is that 20 minutes every day?
Yes.
Okay. Is a specific time of the day?
I like to meditate after the gym personally.
Okay. So you do yoga twice a week. You go to the gym. How often?
The gym, it's like, well, ever since he moved in, it's been like 6 to 7 times per week.
Yeah.
So we're hitting the gym hard.
Right. And what about you, Jess?
Yeah. So I guess my meditation regimen is anytime I'm off and not meditating for a couple days, I definitely start noticing a huge difference in my thought patterns.
Whoa. You go a whole day without meditating?
Man, I skits out sometimes.
Oh, now I know why Connor moved in. You need an accountability office, right?
So that's honestly, that's a really good point, man, is that for a majority of America, and I'm right now we're creating the introduction course when people enter into ZenBase.
Yeah.
And through that, I just did some research past couple of days. And I found out that in America, only 7% of people have even tried meditation once. That's 7%. Meaning that if somebody does practice mindfulness on a daily regimen, that their vibrations, their thought patterns is drastically different than the majority of America. And it's the same thing, like, not to get a little deep into it, I mean, we can get into it later, but just from what I found out yesterday in a statistic that I read was that over 20% of people are on psychiatric medications that treat the symptoms of depression and anxiety. Over 66% of America are on prescribed medications. Yet, through thousands of years of humanity, we've learned that the best remedy for being comfortable with yourself, for reducing the amount of egoic thought and how much, I guess, schizophrenia everyone has, and actually starting to listen to the outside world instead of your thoughts, that meditation as a practice has been oppressed and censored because they want to cure the symptoms instead of the root cause. So that's exactly like why we find meditation so important, is so we can provide this medication to the masses in really trying to alleviate people from reaching out and have them begin from just listening to what's going on within.
So what I heard you say is go within or you go without.
Pretty much. Like it's what society trained us to do.
Yeah, well, I'm older than you guys, right? And as I'm listening to you talk, when I was a kid, there was none of this. Hey, ask your doctor if Lipitor is right for you. It's like, well, what's it even do? I got to make an appointment with my doctor to find out if this thing. I mean, it's like pharma is big business. Keeping you addicted to psychotropics is big business, and there are a lot of people who take a personal interest in seeing that people stay addicted to that. But I digress. So Connor, how old are you?
Yeah, let's just pass the pharmaceutical subject. We don't want to start any wars right here.
Connor, how old are you?
I'm 24.
What about you, Jesse? How old are you?
23.
Okay, so Connor, let's start with you. Tell me about your life, where you actually grew up, and specifically, I'm more interested. Where did the spiritual shift? Right, because most 23-year-olds aren't trying to get people to meditate. All right, that's kind of selfless when you think about it. Right, it's and kind of thankless. So talk to me about that. Where'd you grow up? What were your sports? What did you do?
Yeah, so I grew up in Orlando, Florida. Lived there for like 20 plus years, and actually, I've known this kid since high school. So we've been buddies since high school, and we actually went to college in the same region of South Florida. He went to a school like 30 minutes away. But anyways, how this kind of came about is I had this girlfriend. She's obviously an ex-girlfriend now. She put me onto meditation. Only good thing that came out of that relationship. So I was meditating.
Backhanded. What's her name?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What's her name?
What's her name? What's her first name?
I can't divulge that on this podcast, but maybe at another time.
Okay, well, we're gonna call her Anne. Right? This girlfriend Anne.
Yeah, let's go with Annie. Okay.
Or we can call her Angel.
Yeah, Angel. For you're listening, because we still know that you're stalking Connor. That was a backhanded compliment. Okay, to meditate, Angel. Anyhow, go on.
That's just how life goes. But anyway, so I was learning to meditated consistently for a year or so. And one day I was using the Brave browser. And if anyone doesn't know what that is, it's basically a web browser that rewards you with cryptocurrency for viewing the internet.
You get that. The basic attention token.
Exactly. Yep. So exactly. So one day I was just meditating and I had the idea. I remember it so vividly. The alarm went off telling me, hey, it's time to stop. And that's when I had the idea to kind of merge these two unique industries together. So as soon as I was done, man, I give Jesse a call. I'm like, Jesse, I got it. And like 30 minutes later, he's rushing over in his car over at my place in 30 minutes. We start drafting the first white paper for Meditate to Earn, the whole concept. And
every good story has to have an all-nighter, and that's what happened.
So everybody, so basically we know nothing about Connor other than he's 23, 24. He's 24 and he lived in Orlando for 20 plus years, right?
20 plus years, yeah.
I guess the 20 plus years just started last week, right? And there was a girl that he's not with anymore that got him into meditating, and now he's on the whiteboard with Jesse. So Jesse, so we know nothing about you. You're like a secret agent, man. But anyhow, we'll come back to you. Jesse, let's hear about you.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely
a similar story.
Many different paths, but I guess to focus it on my path towards ZenBase and where I did get into spirituality was my mom. She was a yoga teacher her whole life and just like fitness instructor. And so of course I was, I guess, exposed to that reality, yet never went to any of her classes, never did anything that she taught. Yep. Until I reached high school and discovered hot yoga. I found a liking towards it, although I didn't become very involved in it. I did go a couple times a week with my friends or like a couple times a month at some periods until, I guess, college freshman year. That's when it really changed for me. And I was around 19 years old. And I remember that, yes, I was like meditating, but I never really looked into the practice. And during that period of time, I had my cousin pass away that I was very close with. And from that experience, I really it was the first loss that I had in my life where I truly experienced suffering. Like I've never really had someone that close to me, that close to the family as well. And from that suffering, it really allowed me to dive deeper into why I was suffering and why people suffer. And obviously at that time, I didn't have any of the answers because I was just stuck in my schizophrenic thoughts. And so I'd say in December, just like a month or two after, I pulled the trigger and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to India. I'm just going to find out like what is going on, why my mind is thinking, why people suffer. And I'm going to try and study the sutras, or I got my yoga license. And so it was like a 200-hour course for a month.
And you did it in India?
Yeah, in Rishikesh, India.
Yeah, you made a comment. I want to not get too far away. You said you had schizophrenic thoughts. Are you being facetious?
Yeah. I mean, schizophrenia is a very broad term.
Yeah, I mean, that's thinking things are there when they're not, right? At least my reader's non-clinical impression of that. So when it's like, did this traumatic event actually create dysphoria that made you schizophrenic? But you were just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I have a different definition of schizophrenia. It's really, I guess a better word to use is egoic, or
yeah, man, that's with me and David.
Yeah, and that's all humans. Like we have been programmed to think and solve problems. Yet school systems, indoctrination does not teach us to listen to the world as loud as our thoughts.
But that's the thing about Dave Hampton. His ego is so huge. I'm there because I'm so humble that I'm able to like, in a loving way.
Oh, the irony, David.
Right. The fault and the perfection. So I understand. My one fault is I'm perfect. And I struggle with that all the time. Anyhow, I'm totally kidding, and that's not accurate. And David does not have an ego. I mean, not the way I describe it. You're right about that. You're right about what you're saying. So okay, so you guys are at the age where you hit the streets and you meet the people that kids your age meet, right? And everybody went off in their own direction. It's like, okay, we're out of high school. I guess we're going to college, and you guys are going to college. It's like, nah, man, we're going to do Zen coin. So talk about the what behind this thing, right? So how did we get there? Tell us about the whiteboard and tell us what the iterations are and where we are now.
Yeah, so the reasons for starting ZenBase are different between the two of us. I'll tell my side on why I think ZenBase is important to me. And I'm sure Jessie has a pretty similar, but of course, different explanation. So I'm a self-improvement guy. I like to do whatever I can to make sure that I'm being the best version of myself that I possibly can be, just for me and everyone else in my life. So when I look at meditation, I look at it as a tool, obviously. So I read somewhere that meditation can help boost creativity and problem-solving abilities. And I took a look at that and I thought, man, what if everybody on the planet were to just sit down for at least 5 minutes per day and meditate and express this unfound creativity and problem-solving capabilities? And I thought, what's the best way to do that? So we made a platform that is completely free to use and is scalable. And I believe, well, that's my reason for wanting to start ZenBase. My personal belief is if every single person on this planet meditated, we would have 10 times more Elon Musks.
Yeah, but think about if...
I don't know if that's such a good thing, though.
Hold on.
Having a bunch of...
But I understand the spirit of what you're
doesn't like his Twitter.
Think about this. Think about if Donald Trump or Putin or Z or the guy in Korea, right? Think about that. These guys spent like 30 minutes on mindfulness a day. How maybe there could be like a de-escalation in some of the chaos. And let's say that some of the people that ran some of our media channels, right? And I don't care what anybody says, and I try and stay apolitical on this show, but I believe that the media really they cater to keep their base angry, right? They're the liberal channels, they want to keep them angry, right? And the conservative channels, they want to keep their base angry. So people will.
That's how they make money.
I understand, right? And there are human traffickers and drug dealers who make money and assassins who make money. And I'm talking about all these people. I'm talking about, we're talking about people that are consciously hurting the world, and people who are hurting the world without realizing they're hurting the world. If they were to subscribe to what you guys are talking about, it's like, think about how many fist fights would be avoided, right? Think about how much road rage would be avoided. I mean, I don't know.
It's to me, it's interesting because here's the thing about meditation. Meditation is the whole idea behind it is it's for self-improvement, right? It's to help you clear your mind. It's to help to like clear the thoughts, right? I don't really have a hard time going to sleep because at the night I practiced it quite a bit in my life. I was part of large studies with the military, working with Navy SEALs, implementing like mindfulness techniques and to helping them, and it works. I can attest to how well it works, and so, but here's the thing that's interesting. It's for self-improvement, and if you go with the adage of, hey, we people do what's in their best self-interest. Here's where I think people don't do. It's when the path of least resistance if it's too hard to do, sometimes I think people just don't do it, right? I mean, you guys are in the gym 6 to 7 days a week. That's work. That's hard work, right? And the incentive is to improve, but it takes work to do. You got to be motivated. You got to be interested in doing that, right? And so to me, it's ironic how well it does this, but people are, it's interesting how, you guys, it's not for the faint of heart what you guys are doing.
Yes, well, you bring up a great point, because that is the grand paradox of meditation, is that when people, or all of us, when we are trying to improve ourselves and become something beside ourselves, we are not present and we are not in the meditative state. And so it's that idea, whenever we are meditating, and let's say we're meditating for 30 minutes and we're trying to reach a point so we can clear our mind in the future, and we're trying to reach a point outside ourselves, that takes us away from the present moment, which is the grand paradox. And I'm guessing what prevents a lot of people from meditation, because they're doing it for, you can say, the long or benefits, instead of just being in the moment and realizing that there is nothing more perfect than what is happening right now.
It's funny, the Dalai Lama once made a comment. He was told that he actually had to double up on his schedule. His calendar was like double booked or extra booked. He says, very busy today, must meditate longer.
I heard that.
Right? Yeah. So anyhow, Jessie, have you been to India?
Yeah, so like
You the yoga thing.
sorry, me, yeah, like I was saying, I went to Rishikesh. I'm trying to take.
Okay, oh, sorry. So Jessie's been. Connor, have you been to India?
No, it's on my list.
David Hampton, have you been to India?
He's setting this up. He never asks the questions without realizing where the answer is going to.
I'm just.
Right? And then he's going to say, hey, I went to India too. Look at that.
I too am one of the chosen enlightened people who have like pilgrimage to India. And so I too have an uninvolved partner who just refuses to go to India.
He went right before COVID struck.
During COVID, it was awful, but
he was in India and he's like, hey man, I got to come home back. I got to come home earlier. I'm like, no, you don't, stay there. You're getting,
David, I was there at the same time period.
I was there at the exact period where Trump had said nobody from the EU can come to the United States, and an hour later Modi had said nobody from the EU could come to India, because they didn't want people coming from India, from EU to India, get to the United States and bring that nasty COVID with them. I was literally in customs when that happened. Were you there then too? March 6th?
I was in December and January of 2019 and 2020.
Yeah. So I was in Delhi.
So he was there. He was there March of 2020. Yeah. Like literally, like he got back, and like the next day, I remember this vividly because he got back, and like Monday was the day that Governor Newsom announced, "Hey, we're shutting it down."
On Thursday.
Like it was that week.
Huh.
See, it was the funny thing about that. It's just I literally, when we flew from California, we went over the United States, we crossed Europe, right? And then we dropped in, right, over into India. And then when we went home, instead of going back that way, we went over China, over Russia, down Alaska, all right? And I literally went around the world in one direction. And then when I got out, everything was closed. There were only 5 people in the plane from San Francisco to San Diego. And everything was closed. And there's a part of me that says, you know, like the Twilight Zone, if I could just fly around the world the other way, this would all be back to normal, because my life hasn't been normal since. I mean, literally since COVID happened. But I want to talk about the coin. I want to talk about how, because we really haven't talked about the crypto and the coin and the offering and how that's going to work.
Yeah, so it's cryptocurrency token built on the Polygon network, in-house. It's our domestic in-app currency. Hasn't been released yet, but you can read about the tokenomics on our white paper, which is available on our website.
Yeah, I mean, we got another 30 minutes. I can help and go through a little bit how it works.
And that. So it's so basically you're a layer 3 solution on the Polygon, right? Correct? On the Polygon network?
Yeah.
Right? Just look on ETH.
Yeah, so what that means for the user is that we get to utilize the blockchain of Polygon. While we do code in Solidity, our smart contracts are integrated with our application and also web server. And so what that allows us to do in any type of transactions is have literally less than a cent for transaction fees and maybe less than 3 seconds for any transaction time.
Okay.
So that's the great part about Polygon, at least using the blockchain. But for the token side, that's where we can really maneuver and make it our own. And so what we've done is we've mixed it with the fundamentals of Bitcoin. And so as most of your users probably know, is that Bitcoin has a 21 million cap. And in order to mine new coins, you have to utilize energy or Bitcoin miners to mine that new coin and solve whatever 256-bit equation it is.
Mm-hmm.
So how we've changed it within our tokenomics is that ZenBase, instead of using energy to mine the token, we use time spent meditating to mine the token. And just like you have the hash rate in Bitcoin, where more miners and increased amount of hash makes it difficult to mine tokens, the more users and more time, total time spent meditating will make it more difficult for people to mine the token. So what that does,
Hold on.
yeah, you can go ahead, man.
The thing about it is the audience a bit about crypto are people who really don't understand it at that level, the way you're talking about. I get it, but I mean, this is a subject matter thing I've studied for a while. So why don't you just break it down simply like you were talking to like your aunt at a picnic?
Yeah, so basically all of your meditation, yoga classes, whatever wellness activities we offer, so much more in the future. All of those will be recorded live on the blockchain, and that's how we reward you. And we keep track of that, and then you can use our Zen token currency to buy wellness products like yoga mats, trade it in for gift cards, NFTs. We have something in the future and in development, excuse me, called wellness NFTs, where people say you make meditation music. You can literally turn your sound into an NFT for people to stream, or even a yoga class NFT. And you'll get royalties for that. All of our creative artists get royalties. So if you're a yoga instructor, you can come to ZenBase completely for free and start earning Zen token royalties.
So okay. So let's say that I'm a yoga. I go to yoga 3 times a week. I don't. And let's say that I meditate for half an hour a day. I don't.
You don't.
I don't. But let's just say that I did those things, right? Am I now going to my yoga class with my phone so I can record it on the blockchain? I'm not tracking it the way for practical use, because the people I see here in Encinitas, the way they're carrying a mat, they're carrying a metal bottle of water, right? And they're got a certain type of clothing on, and they're like very minimalistic. So I'm just trying to understand how we get from that to this technology situation where we're incorporating.
Yeah, that's a great question. And definitely we all have our preferences. And that's why at ZenBase, we are keeping the doors open for mindfulness, meaning that everybody has their outlet in calming the mind, slowing the thoughts, and being present. The question is what that activity is. Some people, like me at moments, would be going to a hot yoga class with 20 other sweaty girls and guys, while other people will,
Preferably girls, right?
preferably, other people would sit in the cave and just be alone and listen to their thoughts. And so at ZenBase, what we're doing is in order to accommodate to all, is that the definition of mindfulness is anything and any activity that helps people stay present. And so what we've entitled within the application is that we have categories such as guided meditations, silent meditations. We even have timers where you can just sit there and it tracks your time while you're meditating. We have hypnotism, we have yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, all activities that we think that could help people, and we're looking to expand our library. So we told you like the tokenomics and fundamentals of the cryptocurrency, but I definitely would love to tell you like the distribution process and how our ecosystem builds upon itself.
Preach.
Okay, all right. So the reason why ZenBase will be taking over and disrupting the meditation industry is because we have created a positive feedback loop. What I mean by that is that, let's say you listen to 10 minutes of a guided meditation, and at that time, let's say 10 Zen token are distributed for that 10 minutes. 70% would go towards the user and 30% would go towards the content creator. Keep in mind, it's going to be as such a YouTube or SoundCloud, to where any yoga teacher, any meditation teacher, any mindful teacher will be able to upload their content within ZenBase, creating an open library of mindfulness. And so, like I was saying, since both content creators and users get incentivized, it then creates a positive feedback loop as more users enter the program or our project. More content creators will be incentivized to create higher quality content, and everybody is getting paid more as the user growth grows.
So where are you guys in the project right now, as far as where we are in Q3 of 2022?
So we haven't launched yet. We haven't done any sort of ICO. We're treading very lightly.
It's just an idea right now. Like we haven't even. No, we just came out with the app like 3 days ago. We made it to the app store.
It's not just an idea. You guys have burned your boats. You've quit your jobs. You're moving in together, so you can ideate on this as much time, as possible, right?
Yeah, we were joking.
Yeah, you're not gonna like go to Sinopolis and eat popcorn and watch the bullet train. Yeah, you're gonna spend that time working on this project or meditating. So, I mean, certainly there has to be some type of milestone before you guys actually freeze to death and starve to death and get evicted. So it's not just an idea. I just want to reinforce that. It's not an idea. My idea is, I want to go to Norway. That's an idea. Okay. And that's as far as I've gone with it. So I when you say it's just an idea, I refuse to let you guys cheapen yourself.
No, we are, as Jessie was saying, we are going to be meditation, $1 billion unicorn. We are actually the first on the App Store to have a meditate to earn application. We had the idea it was probably a year and a half ago. We posted the social media, very first person company to do this. In the following months, there were some other companies that have tried to replicate what we are doing. They haven't been able to. And like I said, we're the first to get on the App Store. And what's really cool, Jessie just said, we released on the App Store last week. we're already working on the second version, which has all those cool categories he was saying, like hypnosis, ETF tapping, grounding. You can literally stick your feet in the grass, which is supposed to be good for you, and get rewarded with cryptocurrency. So we have a lot of plans that are coming. And in that second version of ZenBase, we like to call it V2, that is when the blockchain integration will happen.
Well, it sounds really ambitious. It sounds really cool. I think probably I would have to like see it and have some practical application. And I'm just going to talk about behavior, right? I wasn't liking the way I was feeling, and I was told by the doctor, you got to start losing some weight. Now, that never had to be a situation. That never had to be a situation that I actually had to deal with when I was a kid. I had a low metabolism. I was always thin. I ate whatever I wanted, but you get to a certain age where that becomes a high metabolism or whatever. You just get fatter quicker.
By the way, you got a high metabolism, so it got rid of the fat, and then you have a low metabolism, so you don't do it as fast now, right? Question before you go into your monologue. Question for the guys: do you guys include working out as part of a mindfulness technique?
It's not in our roadmap. It's definitely, we're not saying no. We would be open to doing that, actually.
Yeah, as we were saying, that anything that people find presence in
Like, I'll row for 30 minutes. I'll row for an hour on my rower machine, right? And I'm listening to my music, and I'm that kind of thing. And that's my zen. Like I'm just listening. I'm focusing on my breathing, right? You go in, breathe, and then you breathe out as you pull, right? That's the whole rhythm. It's the same thing with meditation.
And
It's 4 seconds in.
And for me, it's the ball, just repetitively hitting balls. There's a Zen thing to it. More so than actually. But what I wanted to say is, I got this app to lose weight called MyFitnessPal, right? And at first, it just took a while, but then I got addicted to the behavior of it because I saw it was going to benefit me. And I think that will actually have it happen for you guys too. The question is, how do you see this? There's going to have to be some type of organic consciousness that makes this thing catch fire. What do you guys think that's going to be?
Yeah, great question. So the wonderful part about ZenBase is that the market has already been created. That Headspace and Calm have already reached billion-dollar valuations with millions of users. Now, the thing is that currently what these users are doing are paying for mindfulness, paying for enlightenment. Obviously, that's a conflict of interest. So what we've done at ZenBase is flip the script, and here we are rewarding the user to take care of themselves.
Well, there are going to be a lot of gurus that are going to be mad at you.
You're going back to the Skinner behaviorism, like positive reinforcement is what you're talking about. You're going back to the 50s, right?
Times seem like they were better.
What's that?
Times seem like they were less indulging.
You know what?
They're simpler. David would know. He's from that century.
That's right. As a matter of fact, when I was in the Army, it's like we did like this with the musket. Anyhow, so tell everybody how they can get a hold of you and if they want to get involved or want to participate. Plug yourself.
Yeah, so we just launched on the App Store. The app is called ZenBase, one word. Our website is zenbase.us. You can either search us up on the App Store or go to our website, download the application. We already have 5-star reviews, great reviews on the app. People are loving it. And the earlier you join, that results in more Zen token rewards for you. So we really encourage early adoption of this platform because, as Jessie said, there's only 21 million to give out. So it's just going to keep getting scarcer and scarcer. And what happens when something becomes scarce? Becomes more valuable. People want it more. So go download the app right now. And you can always, please reach out to us. meditate@zenbase.us is the best email.
Well, it sounds really great, and I'm going to wish you guys the success. And more importantly, I'm looking forward to having you guys back on as you get to another iteration, like when you get your V1 complete to your satisfaction, working on V2 and V3. So I just want to say, Connor Chase and Jessie Freelander, thank you so much for spending the time with the Bit About Crypto audience today. And Dave Hampton, Robo Recruiter. And remember, I'm David James, the Job Whisperer. And remember, everybody, get whisper.